Okay, so good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Ambika Prasad Shah, Assistant Professor in Electrical Engineering Department. Uh, in this semester, we will talk about the new subject which is related to the VLSI entitled Most VLSI Design. This subject is basically for the uh, preliminary version of the advanced VLSI design or something like that. But yes, you should know the fundamental of VLSI design, how to design the circuit, how to what are the different kind of VLSI designs are, like analog circuits, digital circuits, mixed signal circuits. So we'll talk about all those things. So in today's lecture, we will be discussing about the what this course is all about, what kind of content we are going to cover, and the marking scheme in this particular semester. Okay, so let us start with the integrated circuit. What are the integrated circuits? Basically, integrated circuit is nothing but if we embed many of the component on a single chip, so that becomes the integrated circuit. Like if we have integrated uh, and that circuit can operate for a different function, different operations, so that becomes the integrated circuit. Basically, integrated circuit is classified based on their functionality, what kind of integrated circuits we have. So basically, based on the application, the integrated circuit can be defined or classified into three categories. The first category is the digital integrated circuit. The second category is the analog integrated circuits. And the third category is mixed signal integrated circuit. If I'm talking about the digital integrated circuit, so the digital ICs basically handles the discrete signals such as binary values, where we have two kind of the signals, either logic 0 or logic 1. Okay, it requires like the basic logical blocks like logic gates, multiplexers, flip-flops. So all these kind of components are the part of digital integrated circuits. And the very important thing is the designing of digital integrated circuit is somewhat simpler than the other two schemes like the analog and the mixed signal one. Okay, so it is very easy to design, so subsequently that will lead to the low cost designing. Okay, so the costing will be somewhat less. But this this digital integrated circuit cannot be utilized where I just wanted to perform some analog kind of applications. Like if I have to amplify something, so I for that purpose definitely I need to have some block, some module that should be the analog in nature. So if I have to handle the continuous signal, not only digital signal, in that case I need to consider the analog integrated circuit. Okay, so basically the analog integrated circuits are classified into two categories. The first category could be like the linear integrated circuit, and the second one could be the RFIC, radio frequency integrated circuit. As I already told you, the digital integrated circuit, one of the simplest one, like easily we can design it, but as design perspective, the analog integrated circuits are really somewhat complex, and that many parameters that need to be considered, especially like gain in other things. So frequency of operation, gain, so all these must be properly optimized so that you can get the better performance. So you need to like the design complexity is somewhat higher than the digital integrated circuit. But yes, of course, this is the applicable, or this kind of ICs can be used for the continuous signal. They can handle the continuous signal operations. Okay, but in reality, whatever the integrated circuit we need to design, it is not only to operate all the digital circuits or to operate all the analog signals. In reality, in application, we can have both kind of signals. Either it could be analog signal or digital signal. So in that case, we need to have an IC which is the combination of analog and the digital one. Okay, and that we call it the mixed signal integrated circuit. In the mixed signal integrated circuit, we can have both kind of modules, the digital modules as well as analog modules that can perform analog and digital operations both. Okay, basically this is the combination of analog and digital ICs. If I'm talking about some of the modules in the mixed signal IC, so that could be like analog to digital converter, digital to analog converter is needed. Clock timing integrated circuit, integrated block is also needed. So if I have the module something like this, so in that case, the mixed signal integrated circuit is really very important. In reality, like for the real applications, the mixed signal uh, integrated circuit is the important one, and that we need to consider it. Okay, and the complexity, if you talk about the complexity between the analog among analog integrated circuit, digital integrated circuit, and the mixed signal one, so the mixed signal integrated circuit has moderate complexity. Okay, so this is all about. So this is what we understand what kind of the ICs could be. So in this particular course, let us discuss what we are going to cover in this particular course. So the first thing which we will talk about, the introduction to digital integrated circuit design. So yes, because I just told you that digital integrated circuit is one of the simplest one or easier one to design, to understand the concept of integrated circuit design. So we will start with the introduction of the digital integrated circuit, and in that we will try to describe the different model key concept that is really very important to design a very good digital integrated circuit. Okay, then we will talk about the different models that will allow us to design or to understand the behavior of circuits. Like, so in this particular section, we will definitely try to optimize the circuit performances, circuit power, circuit cost. Cost means the in terms of area. We will also consider the reliability. So these are really very important to understand the behavior of the circuit which we are going to design. Okay, and we will also try to understand how the circuit is behaving if I am doing some small changes in the circuit. So how the performance is deviated with that small change, and whether that small change really works for as per our requirement or not. So that will be discussed in this particular class. Other than this, we will also talk about how we can make sure that whatever the circuit we have designed, that really works. Okay, so we'll try to understand the behavior, because if we have more number of functions, the number of transistor will be increased. And if the number of transistor in a single module or in the integrated circuit increases, then complexity will also increase. So the you need to be sure that whatever the design you have, that must be perfectly designed so that it should work as per our concept or as per our idea, whatever we have. Okay, so this is all about the class which we are going to cover here. If you talk about the detailed topics that will be covered in this particular course, then here are something like we will basically start with the fundamental of MOSFET. Just we will briefly talk about, because you know the fundamental of MOSFET, we have already studied in the previous subjects. So yeah, definitely we will do some brush up on the fundamental of MOSFET, and then we will utilize it for the circuit designing perspective. And we will talk about how these MOSFETs can be utilized for the circuit designing part. Okay, so initially you have you know the how MOSFET behaves, what are the characteristics of a different kind of MOSFET, and when it can be turned on and turn off. So you all know the different things, but yeah, how those MOSFETs can be utilized for a particular applications, especially if I'm going to design a circuit. Okay, so that we will consider here. Other than this, we will also talk about different issues, different problems associated with the digital integrated circuit. Like if I have to design a digital integrated circuit, in that case, some of the parameters that is really important to consider, and those parameters are like the propagation delay. Whatever the input we have provided, ideally we should receive the output at same instant, but it is not possible, because whatever the circuit we have designed, that will take some time to reflect at the output side. Whatever the input we have given, that will take some time. Okay, so that we will talk about the propagation delay. So ideally this should be as small as possible. We will also talk about how we can reduce the propagation delay of any integrated circuit or any module. Okay, Very important parameter that also that is like the noise margin. Noise margin is also one important parameter. Like if we have the more noise margin, then the stability will be better. So if we want to maintain the stability of this circuit designing, then the noise margin must be considered. Okay, so then we'll talk about what are the different parameters that decides the noise margin, how we can optimize the noise margin, what are the different circuit techniques, design techniques that can be used to enhance the noise margin of the circuit. Okay, so we'll talk about the noise margin as well. Again, a really very important parameter is the power dissipation, because we are, if I am miniaturizing the transistor, if I am scaling down the transistors, in that case, for if I have, if my application is like the low power application, like if I want to design IC for low power applications, so ideally the power dissipation through IC should be as small as possible. So the power dissipation becomes one of the important parameter, especially if I'm talking about the low power designing. Okay, so this we will consider what are the different concepts that can be utilized to reduce the power dissipation. Okay, another important parameter is the reliability. Whatever the circuit we have designed, that should work reliably. Like it is not like that the circuit is behaving in a very good way for now, but maybe after some time the performance degraded. So ideally there the circuit should be reliable, there should be no change in the performance. Okay, so we will also talk about what are the those reliability concerns. Other than these things, we also need to consider one very important parameter, and that is the area. Okay, so area is also like, if I have to embed more number of module on a single chip, so the number of functions should be more. Okay, and for that purpose the number of transistors should be increased. But if there are more number of transistors, the area requirement will be high. So our objective should be in a such a way that whatever the model we are designing, that should be designed with the minimum number of transistors, and that will lead to reduce area. Okay, and this is also one of the important parameters that should be considered. So this is all about the different issues with the digital integrated circuits. Then we will talk about how we can design the CMOS logic gates based on by using these MOSFETs. Like we have the two types of MOSFET, either it could be enhancement or the depletion kind of MOSFET. And further, this enhancement and the depletion MOSFETs are divided into two categories. Either it could be the P-type MOSFET or the N-type MOSFET. So we have all four combinations, and by considering all these four combinations and their operations, we can design the complementary metal oxide semiconductor logic gates. So we will try to design some CMOS based logic. Other than these things, we also need to consider some like static logic circuit. And those static logic circuits, like the first we already discussed, like CMOS one, where we will consider the complementary kind of transistors, like the pull up, and like the PMOS and NMOS, both kind of transistors should be there. The second one we will talk about, there are some problem with the CMOS circuit, like the area overhead. So to overcome those problems like area overhead, we can go for the ratioed logic or the pass transistor logic or the transmission gate logic. But what other alternatives are there, like ratioed pass transistor in the transmitter gate? There are certain problems with these logic styles as well. So we'll talk about what this ratioed logic is, and what are the advantages and the disadvantages of this logic. And then we'll go for the next kind of logic, which is the pass transistor logic. This does not require direct supply, so might be the power requirement will be reduced. So, but yes, of course, this pass transistor logic required least number of transistors to for the same function. Okay, so this is one of the benefit. But yes, there is some drawback. And what are the problems associated with the pass transistor logic that we will discuss. Further, the next kind of the logic could be the transmission gate. So some of the problems which was with the pass transistor logic can be overcome with the help of transmission gate. Okay, so the transmission gate can be utilized uh, to overcome the problem of pass transistor logic. So this is all about we'll talk about. Other than this static logic circuit, we can have one more logic style, and that is the dynamic logic circuit. Okay, so we'll definitely see how the dynamic logic circuit is different from the static logic circuit, how we can design the dynamic logic circuits, and what are the different challenges associated with the dynamic logic circuit. Okay, so this is the one point that we need to consider. Now, we'll further extend our discussion on the sequential circuit design, like the latch designing, the memory designing. So we'll talk about how we can design the sequential logic circuit. What other things we have just considered here, all are the like the combinational one. But we will also discuss about the sequential logic circuit, especially latch and the SRAM and the DRAM designings. So we will design with the help of MOSFETs. And then we will talk about arithmetical and logical blocks, like how we can combine the different modules to have ALU, like addition, subtraction, multiplication, something like that. So all these operations must be embedded in a single block and in a single unit, and that is the arithmetical building blocks. ALU, we will talk about the arithmetical and logical unit. Okay, and then we will discuss about what are the different timing issues in the synchronous designs. If I have to design a circuit, so timing is a really very important, uh, so that need to be considered. And then we will discuss about the timing issues, and then we will talk about what are the different interconnect parasitics. So yes, interconnect is nothing but, suppose I have the MOSFETs and I'm connecting to MOSFETs. So to connect the different nodes of the MOSFET, we need the interconnects, the wire. And that wire can also create problem, like the parasitic capacitances can also be there, and that may lead more power, more propagation delay. Okay, so this is really very important to understand what are the parasitic capacitances, how we can reduce them, and then to improve the performance of the circuit, whatever we have designed. So this is all about the detailed topics which we are going to cover in this particular course. Okay, if we talk about the objective of this course, because we have already seen what kind of the content we are going to cover, so objective of this course will be like to understand the fundamental of analog and digital integrated circuits. And then we will talk about the design methodologies using the practical integrated circuit. We will see what are the different methods with the help of those methods, how we can design a appropriate circuit and the optimum circuit. So this is also really important to understand what are the different methods. And then we will talk about the fundamental of VLSI circuits and its implementation. We will also talk about how we can design the layout, what are the different challenges with the layout designing, how we can simulate those circuits. So these are the basic fundamentals that we will cover in this particular course. Okay, and we will also talk about, like, suppose there could be the different way to design the layout of the circuit, whatever we have designed, but we need to check which of the design is more optimum, having which require less area, which is having less parasitics. So this is really very important, especially if I am designing the layout of any circuit. So this kind of things we will understand in this particular course. Further, we will talk about the different problems associated with the VLSI technology and advancements, like if this technology is scaled down with the lower technologies to include more number of function in a single chip or per unit area. So we will also talk about what are the different challenges, what are the different problems with the technology scaling down. Then we'll talk about the various design issues. Yeah, we have already discussed this thing, like the power dissipation, area, reliability, propagation delay. So this all must, noise margin. So this all must be considered, and that need to be discussed to understand the real concept of the circuit designing part. Okay. Once you will complete this particular course, you will be able to understand few things, like the outcome of this course will be something like you will be able to design a MOSFET based logic circuits. You will also be able to realize the logic circuit with the different logic styles. Means the same kind of function can be designed with a different kind of concept, different kind of logic styles. So this is really very important. And then you will be able to demonstrate the working of different types of memory, because we are going to cover the SRAM and the DRAM designing as well, latch as well. So you will be able to understand the concept of memories as well. And then you will be able to understand what are the different clocking schemes, power reduction, and the distribution schemes as well. How we can reduce the power dissipation through a circuit, that is also really important. So how to optimize the circuit, you will be able to understand those things, and then you will be able to choose an appropriate IC module for a particular applications, like how to decide what should be in the module so that we can have the optimum circuit designs. Okay, so this is really so these are the outcome of this particular course. At the end, what you will learn through this particular course, so you will be able to understand, design, and optimize the digital circuit for various considering the various quality matrices. And the first quality matrix is the performance, that is the propagation delay, or we call it the speed. The second and the very important parameter is the power dissipation. So because if our objective is to design a low power circuits, in that case the power dissipation become the prime concern. So you must design your circuit in such a way that the power dissipation should be as small as possible. So we will talk about you will also learn how to reduce the power dissipation in a particular circuit. Third and very important parameter is the cost, like the area overhead. So how we can minimize the number of transistors for the same function so that we can save the area to design a particular module. So this is really very important. And other than these things, the reliability is really very important. Like whatever the circuit we have designed, that should maintain its performance. So it should not degrade with time or with variations. So the reliability becomes really important challenge, especially at the scale down technologies. Okay. And then the one more important thing is like security. Like nowadays, the data transmission or data security is really very important. So how we can utilize the variability and other things to design our circuit for security primitives or for secure applications. Okay, so these things you will be able to understand and you will learn from this particular course. Now let us talk about the design abstraction level. So we have the devices, and so okay, so we were talking about like what are the different abstraction level in digital circuit designings. So the initially, if I have to design a digital circuits, so we need to start with the basic abstraction, and that is the devices. So first you need to optimize the device. You need to have a perfect design with the devices. So before designing any circuit, you must have a device which is well optimized, and then you need to have a model of this device so that can be utilized to design a particular circuit. So the basic abstraction of the digital circuit is the devices. Okay, then after you need to go for the circuit. So based on by using these devices, you can go for the circuit designing side. So you can utilize the different device models, and then you can have a circuit optimization or circuit realization. Once you have a basic circuit realization like inverter, then you can go for the further you can extend your analysis for the bigger circuit, which is like the gate level. Okay, so the gate level like AND gate, OR gate, XOR, or something like that. So these kind of modules can be utilized or can be extended. So this is the somewhat higher abstraction level of the digital circuit designing. Once you are ready with the gate level design, you can have a module like arithmetical and logical unit module or something like that. So this module is nothing but this is the combination of different logic gates. Okay, so and then once you have module ready for a particular application, then you can combine all those modules, and then you can go for the system level designs. So system is nothing but system is made of the different modules. Different modules are made of the different gates, and gates are made of the basic circuit designing, and the basic circuit is made of the device different devices. So if you have to optimize your system, so the device must be optimized. So the optimization is possible at each abstraction level, and that is really very important to understand the concept of digital circuits. If you talk about the prerequisite of this course, yeah, because this course need basics of semiconductor. So you must be knowing about what the different semiconductor properties are, how they works, and the digital electronics concept is also really important, is needed in this particular course. So if you know the digital electronics, then you can go with this MOSFET SI design course. Okay, and the analog electronics circuit is also important. Like, see, you have already studied the analog electronics, like how you can combine the transistors to find a particular logic. So the analog electronics subject is also important, this is also the prerequisite for this particular course. Okay, if we talk about the teaching in the practical information, so I will be the teaching instructor for this course. The practical instructor will, again, I will be the practical instructor, but there is no practical in this course. But we can do the hands-on from the software tools which we have, and that you can do it. So I will be happy to help you in this regard. Like if you need some help in the real implementation of those circuits on the software tools, then I will be happy to help you in this regard. Okay. Other than this, the tentative classroom for this course will be like 01 AC 209. But yes, because this semester is online, so the mostly all the classes will be through online mode only. If you talk about what are the different softwares that is needed to simulate the circuits, and the software are like the very important software is the Cadence tool, and this is widely used in the industry. So we will utilize this Cadence tool to implement a circuits and to analyze the circuit. There is one more software tool that can be utilized, and that is the HSpice. Okay, so HSpice is basically used to simulate the basic circuits, and we can use the HSpice as well for the validation purpose. Yes, so if we talk about the class material, the reference textbook which we will cover in this particular course will be the Digital Integrated Circuit, a Design Perspective by Rabe. So this is really very good book, so you can refer this book. The class note can be provided, printed notes, that is also possible if you will be here only, right? So, but yes, the soft copy of the notes can be shared through email. Lab reader, yes, because there is no lab in this course, but yes, if you like to understand the concept how the circuit designs, so definitely the lab modules will also be there, and that we will be able to help you to understand the circuit behavior in the lab as well. This is really very important part of this particular course, and that is the evaluation, how we will evaluate the whole this particular course. So we will be having 2 class tests. The one will be during week 3 and week 4, and the weightage of this first class test will be around 15% of 100%. And then we will be having a second class test which we will conduct during week 12 and 13, and again the weightage of this test will be 15%, around 15%. There will be one mid-semester examination which will be in the week 7, and the weightage of this mid-semester examination is approximately 30%. Okay, so the 30% weightage will be given to the mid-semester examination. There will be one end semester examination having the weight of 40%. So if we combine all these things, we will be having the 100% evaluation. But there are some certain things that is really important. The maximum, the multiple choice questions could be of the 20% weightage. Yeah, there is no minimum limit. It could be 0, but maximum you can keep the MCQ having the weight of 20%, considering all these tests in the examinations. Okay. One more options can be given, like one class test can be replaced with the Viva. Okay, so if you are interested to give the Viva, then and the class test can be uh, we can like you will get the benefit. Like you can either you can attend the class test or you can give the Viva. So this is the option. Okay. One class test can also be replaced with the assignment or the research problems. Like if you are able to understand the concept, then that can be one class test can be utilized for the assignment in the research problem solving purpose as well. Okay. So this is all about the basic briefing of this particular course. Tomorrow we will talk about the introduction of this particular course, and we will consider all other things which are really important.